Are you looking for great single-player titles that will immerse you into their open worlds? Then you found the best place to stop by, because today me and Pixel Dragon, an absolutely great gaming YouTuber, will bring you some brutal combat, deep storytelling and expansive open worlds to your feet. Let's begin with Pixel Dragon's first pick.
Hey everyone, it's me, Pixel Dragon with Star Viper here, and today we are going to talk about some of the best single-player games you should definitely give a chance, and the ones which we absolutely loved. So, let's go. The Stray. Stray is one of the most unique and unexpectedly emotional story-driven games out there. On the surface, it's a game about being a cat, but it's so much more than that. It's a beautiful melancholic journey through a forgotten cyber city packed with atmosphere, heart, and surprisingly deep themes about loneliness, hope, and finding connection. You're just a small stray cat lost and alone after a brutal fall into the depths of a dying city. No humans, no way back. Just a place overrun by robotic inhabitants trying to make sense of a world that left them behind. As this tiny, determined feline, you'll prowl through neon-soaked alleys, sneak into abandoned apartments, and slowly piece together the story of what went wrong. It's a haunting, beautiful journey told through the eyes of a creature that doesn't need words to leave an impact.
If we already opened up the topic about cats, then we have to definitely mention Copycat. This is an impressive, beautifully created narrative-driven game in which you also take the role of a cat that has to reunite with her family after she has been mistaken with another lookalike one. The game does a great job in expressing different feelings and really manages to immerse you into the whole situation. It's a nice and relaxing title that any cat lover should try out.
Death Stranding. Death Stranding is a game that's really hard to describe, but it's incredibly immersive. It's not your typical action game where you're constantly shooting things. Instead, it's a game about connecting people and rebuilding a broken world. You play as Sam Porter Bridges, and your job is to deliver packages across a vast and desolate landscape. It sounds kind of boring, but it's actually really engaging and thought-provoking. The world in Death Stranding is absolutely breathtaking. It's inspired by Iceland, and it's full of stunning scenery. You'll be trekking across mountains, deserts, and icy plains, and the game does an amazing job of making you feel like you're actually there. The weather plays a big role too. Rain and snow can make your journey much more difficult, and you'll have to adapt to the changing conditions. It's a world that feels both beautiful and dangerous, and it's a joy to explore.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Set in the golden age of piracy, Assassin's Creed Black Flag lets you take control of Edward Kenway, a rogue assassin turned pirate who sails the Caribbean in search of treasure, glory, and danger. Black Flag is widely prized for its seamless blend of naval exploration and land-based stealth gameplay. Players can sail the Caribbean, plunder ships, explore islands, engage in dynamic naval combat, and hunt different sea creatures. The game features major locations like Havana, Kingston, and Nassau, alongside countless smaller islands and hidden coves. Your ship serves as a mobile base, which can be upgraded with better weapons, armor, and crew members. The naval battles, combined with the ability to board enemy ships, became a franchise-defining feature that later inspired Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Fallout New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas truly lets you forge your own path in a post-apocalyptic world. It's not just about shooting mutants and completing quests, it's about creating a character, making tough choices, and seeing how those decisions shape the world around you. It's a game that offers incredible freedom and replayability, and it's considered by many to be one of the best RPGs ever made. The immersion in New Vegas comes from a few key things. First, the setting. The Mojave Wasteland is a vast and unforgiving place, but it's also full of interesting locations to discover, from the bustling strip of New Vegas to the desolate ruins of old towns. Each area has its own story to tell. Exploring the wasteland is a joy, as you never know what you might find around the next corner. It could be a hidden cache of supplies, a challenging enemy encounter, or even a new quest to undertake.
Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight follows a silent, small warrior known as the Knight who explores the ruin of Hollow Nest, a once great kingdom now plagued by a mysterious infection. The game is heavily inspired by Dark Souls and classic Metroidvania titles, featuring great exploration, a massive interconnected world with secret areas, hidden bosses, and cryptic lore. Challenging combat, precision-based melee combat combined with spells and ability casting, upgrading charms, and epic boss fights. There are over 40 unique bosses, each with distinct attack patterns, making combat a real test of skill. All this combined made Hollow Knight one of the most celebrated indie games of all time, often compared to masterpieces like Super Metroid and Dark Souls. Its highly anticipated sequel, Hollow Knight Silksong, will follow Hornet, a character from the original game, in a new adventure.
Mafia 2. But Mafia 2 drops you right into the rough and tumble world of gangsters back in the mid-20th century. It's more than just shooting and doing missions, it's about getting to know Vito Scaletta, a regular guy who gets mixed up with the Mafia. Think of it like a playable gangster movie, a game with a good story, a cool setting, and fun gameplay that makes it a memorable experience. What's really neat about Mafia 2 is how real it makes the world feel. Empire Bay, the city where the game takes place, is practically a copy of American cities from the 1940s and 50s. It's a lively place with busy streets, music from that time playing on the radio, and different neighborhoods that each have their own feel. Just driving around Empire Bay is a good time, letting you soak up the atmosphere. It's like a living, breathing city.
Cyberpunk 2077. After its rocky launch, a great expansion and multiple updates, Cyberpunk 2077 has completely transformed into one of the best open-world RPGs ever made. Playing as V, a mercenary in the futuristic Night City, you'll experience a world filled with corporate warfare, cybernetic enhancements, and gripping choices. Night City feels alive as there is always something to do. The game offers meaningful choices and multiple endings that you will not want to miss out. We also have to mention the great characters that you will meet throughout your journey, such as Johnny Silverhand, and of course the freedom to customize your character and playstyle as you want. Really, when it comes to Cyberpunk 2077, there is so much to talk that we don't have time to cover everything in this video. The best thing you can do is to check it out yourself.
Stalker: Shadow of Chernobyl. Stalker: Shadow of Chernobyl is a survival horror first-person shooter that throws you into the heart of the Chernobyl exclusion zone, a desolate and irradiated wasteland surrounding the site of the infamous nuclear disaster. It's a game that blends tense combat with atmospheric exploration and a chilling sense of dread. It's a gritty and unforgiving experience that's become a cult classic for its unique atmosphere and gameplay. What makes Stalker so immersive is the oppressive atmosphere of the zone. It's a place that feels both beautiful and terrifying, with decaying buildings, overgrown landscapes, and a constant sense of unseen danger. The weather can change quickly, from sunny skies to blinding storms, adding to the feeling of unpredictability. The zone feels alive, with its own ecosystems of mutated creatures and desperate scavengers. Exploring this world is a key part of the experience as you uncover hidden stashes, discover anomalies, and learn more about the zone's history.
God of War 2018. The latest installment of God of War is a critically acclaimed action-adventure game. It serves both as a reboot and a continuation of the original God of War series, shifting from Greek to Norse mythology while introducing deeper storytelling, refined gameplay, and a more emotional character-driven narrative. The game follows Kratos, the former Spartan God of War, who now lives in the realm of Midgard, attempting to live a quiet life. He is joined by his young son, Atreus, following the death of his wife, Faye. Their journey begins with a simple mission to scatter Faye's ashes from the highest peak in all of the realms. However, their quest leads them into conflicts with the Norse gods, monsters, and secrets from Kratos' past. You can expect combat scenes that will leave you speechless in God of War 2018.
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. You're playing as Indy, the dude with the hat and whip, kicking it in 1937, way before any of us were around. The story starts when some shady guy sneaks into your gig at Marshall College and swipes this old artifact. Turns out it's tied to something huge called the Great Circle, and now Indy's off on a wild chase, hitting up Egypt with its sandy dunes, the Vatican with all its fancy vibes, and even snowy mountains, where you're just praying for a heater. This thing's got a story that grabs you and doesn't let go. You're sneaking through old ruins, dodging traps like they're out to get you. I swear, one wrong step and I was toast more times than I'll admit. The bad guys are these jerk Nazis, led by this slick creep Voss, who's always acting like he's the king of the world. Indy's not having it. He's cracking that whip, punching faces, and muttering stuff like, why's it always gotta be Nazis? It's not just action though, you're solving puzzles too, like figuring out where this lever goes or what this dusty map means. Feels like you're actually in Indy's boots, sweating it out.
Elden Ring. Elden Ring is an open-world action RPG that blends classic Soulsborne gameplay with a vast open world. It quickly became one of the most critically acclaimed games of all time, winning Game of the Year 2022. The game is set in the lands between, a vast and mysterious world ruled by demigods, and you play as a Tarnished, an exiled summoned back to the lands between to restore the Elden Ring and become the Elden Lord. Expect some of the most epic and hard boss fights that you will ever encounter in any game. So if you love freedom, epic boss fights and challenging gameplay, gameplay, Elden Ring is the best single player experience you can get right now. With this being said, we come to an end of today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please do leave a like, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on the latest gaming news. Also, please do subscribe to Pixel Dragon as you will find more interesting gaming related stuff on his channel as well. Until next time, respect.